that the stones used in building the Great Pyramid came from Tora. And Tora is a 25 mile to the east from Giza.
What if the story you've been told about the pyramids is a lie? They say Pharaoh Khufu built the Great Pyramid using copper tools, wooden sleds, and 20,000 workers, all in just 20 years. But what if that's impossible? What if the most iconic structure on Earth wasn't built by slaves, kings, or dynasties, but by someone else entirely? Someone we've forgotten. And what if that truth is being buried on purpose? This is Graham Hancock, the man mainstream historians love to hate. But to millions around the world, he's something else. A whistleblower of ancient history. Graham Hancock isn't your typical historian. He's not an Egyptologist, not a tenured professor. He's not even part of the academic club. That's exactly why so many people trust him. A former journalist for The Economist, Hancock gave up breaking headlines in the 90s to chase something deeper, lost knowledge. His questions were simple, but dangerous. What if ancient civilizations are far older than we think? What if our history books are missing entire chapters? And what if the proof has been buried, not just by time, but by gatekeepers who don't want us to know? For 3 decades, Hancock has traveled the world, from the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of Cambodia, the jungles of Indonesia to the sunken ruins off Japan. His approach? Cross-disciplinary. Geology, astronomy, myth, and math. The academic elite called it pseudoscience. Millions called it something else. Common sense. Let's talk about the Great Pyramid, the crown jewel of ancient Egypt. It's 480 feet tall, 2.3 million blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons. A structure so mathematically precise, it aligns with true north within 0.05 degrees. It's supposedly a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, but here's the twist. There's no evidence he built it. No hieroglyphs, no inscriptions, no grand declarations of divine power, nothing. Just one thing, a quarry mark scrawled in red paint on the ceiling of a hidden chamber. Discovered in 1837 by a British explorer named Colonel Howard Vyse, using dynamite. No witnesses, no photos, just Vyse's word. And Hancock, he calls that what it looks like, a forgery. Vyse had rivals, a ticking clock, and every reason to fake a breakthrough. So if Khufu didn't build it, who did? Mainstream Egyptologists say the pyramid was built with copper chisels, wooden sleds, and human sweat. Let's test that. This base of the pyramid covers over 13 acres and is level to within less than an inch. Casing stones were fitted so precisely you can't slide a razor blade between them. Internal geometry encodes pi, the golden ratio, the equinoxes, even the curvature of the Earth. We're not talking primitive stacking. We're talking engineering intelligence modern builders would struggle to match. Want a fun math problem? To complete the pyramid in 20 years, workers would need to place one block every 2.5 minutes. 24 hours a day, no breaks, for 20 years straight. And then there's the granite. Inside the king's chamber lie granite blocks weighing up to 80 tons, the size of diesel locomotives. Where did they come from? Not nearby. From Aswan. Over 500 miles to the south. Somehow, these stones were quarried, floated up the Nile, dragged across the desert, and lifted 150 feet into the air, without wheels, pulleys, or cranes. No one can explain how, not convincingly. The ramp theory requires a mile-long structure made of more material than the pyramid itself, and yet not a trace of it remains. Modern engineers have tried to replicate the process with ancient tools and failed. So if this wasn't done with manpower, it had to be know-how, knowledge we've forgotten. Now let's shift to something even older, the Sphinx. Half lion, half human. Carved from a single limestone ridge. It's been gazing across the desert for millennia. According to textbooks, it was built around 2500 BCE by Pharaoh Khafre. But then came a geologist, Dr. Robert Schoch, who examined the erosion patterns at its base. What he found stunned the world. The deep, vertical fissures weren't caused by wind or sand, they were caused by heavy rainfall. Rain that hasn't fallen in that region for over 10,000 years. That puts the Sphinx possibly at 10,500 BCE. Which would predate all of dynastic Egypt by over 6,000 years. Hancock took this evidence and connected the dots to something even more devastating, a global cataclysm. Around 12,800 years ago, something happened. Massive climate upheaval, melting ice caps, sudden flooding, possibly triggered by a comet impact. This event, known as the Younger Dryas, wiped out ecosystems and possibly civilizations. Hancock believes the Sphinx and the pyramids were not created after this cataclysm, but survived it. That changes everything. And then came the stars. Robert Bauval's Orion correlation theory revealed that the layout of the three Giza pyramids mirrors the stars of Orion's belt. Even more shocking, the constellation aligns perfectly above Giza around 10,500 BCE, the same time the Sphinx may have been carved. Coincidence or a message left in stone? So who were they? The ones who built the unbuildable. Hancock calls them the magicians of the gods, survivors of a lost, advanced civilization. Not pharaohs, not peasants, but architects, astronomers, navigators. And when their world ended, they didn't leave behind books. They left monuments, time capsules, star maps, messages etched in granite and limestone meant to last longer than memory. And what's eerie is that these messages aren't just in Egypt. They're in Mexico, Cambodia, Turkey, Sudan, Peru. Pyramids, star alignments, sacred geometry, all from cultures supposedly disconnected, yet echoing the same ancient knowledge. It's not random. It's fingerprints. In 1993, German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink sent a robot into the pyramid's inner shafts. It found a sealed stone door deep in the heart of the monument. What was behind it? We still don't know. Egyptian authorities blocked access. Gantenbrink was dismissed, and for decades, silence. Then in 2017, scientists used muon scanning, a particle detection method, to peer inside the pyramid again. They found a massive void above the Grand Gallery, a chamber large enough to house a jet plane. And yet, no one has entered it. No photos, no updates, no excavation, just silence. So let's ask it again. If the pyramids weren't built by Khufu, if they contain engineering we can't replicate, if the erosion patterns and star maps date back 12,000 years, who built them? And why does the academic world fight so hard to protect a story that no longer fits? Graham Hancock doesn't pretend to have every answer. What he offers is something far more dangerous, a better question. Maybe we're not the first advanced civilization to walk this earth. And maybe the pyramids aren't just monuments to the past. Maybe they're warnings, left behind for the next time the world forgets.